Hello ladies and gents, another video brought to you by Ant's Hood, and today's video will be a first look and a mini review of the Wakooshi Gen 3 S3 Outworld. Now that was a mouthful. And to my knowledge, I think I'm the first person to actually get his Gen 3 stuff to actually review it, so nice. Now to tell you the truth, I hadn't actually ordered this nest. I do need outworlds, which is cool because I'm decent sized outworlds now I'm starting to get a bit short of. And I didn't expect this to come through the post. So when I received it, I was a bit of a head scratcher. Then to see it was from Wakooshi, I scratched my head even more because I wasn't expecting it. But then I flipped it over, I think. Yeah, flipped it over, and there, the secret has been revealed. So for those of you that don't know PJGrant, he's actually one of my Patreon supporters. But not only that, I have spoke to this guy well on over a year and a half now, maybe around that time, and we speak a lot. I offer him advice and stuff like that. So when I started my Patreon, he supported me. And obviously this I wasn't expecting at all, so I massively appreciate it, PJ, thank you. And of course, if you want to support my Patreon page, I'll put a link in the description below. And as I take this out of the bag, you'll notice that the plastic's all covered in this bluey protective stuff. Now it's really good at protecting it, but just be mindful that when you do take this out of the blue protective covering that's stuck to all the plastic bits, make sure that when you assemble it or whenever, you wipe down with a wet cloth all of the plastic. Now the reason for that is because it holds a lot of static electricity, and then when your ants go in there, they can actually get shocked and killed. So be very mindful of that with this and any other acrylic products you get, because it can affect a lot of, well, it affects all the acrylic, to be honest. I don't know why I'm blabbering on for. Just wash it, it'll be fine. Now when I started putting this together, I couldn't figure it out for love nor money. Now if you notice on the instructions when I got them, there was an RQ code on there, and if you click on that or use your camera phone to do it, it takes you to a Rob J video, and I couldn't be bothered to watch that, to be honest. So I just did the classic man thing with no instructions. I just went with it and then couldn't figure out to put it together at all. As you can see here, as I'm doing it now, I'm trying to figure out where it goes and how it goes, but I just gave up and just went for the bits from doing the other Wakooshi nests, how I figured they went, and then went from there, to be honest. If you look to the plasticky bits that are in the top right corner now, you'll see that some of them got 3 holes, which are the corner bits, and you've got some that have got 2 holes, which are the centre bits. So I started putting all the centre bits on and then stick 2 bits together like you can see here. And that's kind of like how I went about it. And then from there I figured out how to do the corner bits, because that confused me as well. I don't know why I've done this before. In fact, I've done it 3 times before because I've got 3 different nests. I got there in the end. That's the main thing, I guess. Wakooshi also told me if it rocks like this does, you can loosen the corners and then it'll flatten it out, because it's just how much you've tensioned the base of the base screws. So just bear that in mind. I didn't bother adjusting it to flatten it out because it doesn't bother me that much, but apparently it does some people. So just be mindful, you can adjust the corner screws on the base to loosen it up a little bit to make it sit flat again. I know I said I couldn't be bothered to do it, but I just did that for demonstration purposes for this video, just so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I didn't stop it rocking because I really didn't make that much of an effort for it, because like I said, it just doesn't bother me. Might you guys, but I've got tubing attached to it, so if it rock, it won't rock because that's going to anchor it. But hey. So what are the differences between this S3 nest and the old S3 nest? Well, for a start, it's got a different connectors now. Wakooshi's Gen 3 stuff is all going towards tubing, and the entrance into this outworld, should I say, is to accept the new tubing. And he's actually gone down to a standard size, which is 12mm diameter. So that pretty much fits with all my Ant Canada tubing and the tubing that I generally use now. And as you can see from this video here, it actually fits so snugly. The most mischievous ants in the ant kingdom, Solenopsis geminata, can't get out of it through it. So it is a really good adapter that fits nice and tight, so that's good. But other than that, it's pretty much a standard Wakooshi Outworld. They are really tightly fit together with these little with the screws and those little plasticky bits. I've already made comments about them in my video where I reviewed his supermassive Outworld, which is literally his second biggest apparently. Wow, because that thing's huge. And it is Solenopsis proof as well, because I've not had any escapees from that. Yes, they've crossed the barrier once or twice, but that's just me not keeping on top of it. So they are Solenopsis proof. So for small species, these Outworlds are probably the best on the market in my personal opinion. As you can probably tell, Wakooshi has changed the dimensions of his Gen 3 stuff to his Gen 2 stuff. So let's talk about how big this is. It's 13 centimeters high, it's 14 centimeters deep and 15 centimeters wide. So it's completely different, comparatively speaking, to the Gen 2 stuff, which you can see the bottom outworld here is. So believe it or not, this bottom nest here is actually the Gen 2 S3 nest, so it's the same titled nest, but there is a lot of significant difference in size. For example, the old S3 nest is only 12 centimeters wide compared to the 15 centimeters wide of the new one. Also, it is not as deep, with it only being as 10 centimeters high compared to the 13 centimeters high on the new one. And it's also worth noting as well that the Gen 2 stuff came with a clear base, and all the Gen 3 stuff is now going to come with a white base, as you can see here. I won't lie, either base doesn't really bother me, but it just looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing if it's white compared to clear, I guess. See, here's also a significant difference as well. The old Gen 2 S3 nest is 20 centimeters long compared to the Gen 3 S3 nest. This is becoming a mouthful, I'm telling you. Anyway, is only 14 centimeters long. So you've lost 6 centimeters in length, which you do get the height, you do get the width. Is it a better shape? I think that's going to be personal preference. Personally, I'm not too fussed. So the plan going forward with this outworld is to connect it to my Mesa Barbarus, but as you can just tell, and you will tell in a second, I've only just fed them and there's quite a bit of activity in the outworld, so I'm not going to do it tonight. But this is where they're going to get connected to. Should be just a quick pull it out and connect it back in, because I'm actually using the correct size tubing before it goes into the outworld, because I've had to reduce it from Wakooshi's old size to the small outworld opening to this. So it's not going to be too difficult, but they do look beautiful, don't they? You've got to love Mesa Barbarus. They are gorgeous, easy to look after, and they grow really well. And they've got super majors as well, which is cool too. But anyway, I digress. This is where it's going to end up, but that'll be for a future video. But that's it for today then, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video as always. Big thank you to Wakooshi for allowing me to have his new Gen 3 stuff, which should be for sale soon, hopefully. And thank you to Perry for surprising me with a free gift. So thank you to you as well, mate. But I also need to thank the rest of my Patreons too. So a big super massive thanks needs to go to Adam W, Adrian, Antantix, Anton the Rock, Anty Matters, David D, Jason W, Kevin R, Paul A, Pavance, PJGrant and Wakooshi, because your continued support makes my channel possible, as well as you guys for watching my channel as well. So a big thank you to you too. But oh my god, I forgot to tell you, go on to Antantix page, because there's going to be an AntCon or an Ant conference, and you need to check that out in May. There's loads of super cool people going. Ant Hollifer's going to make an appearance, EA's going to make an appearance, I'm definitely going to be there, Ant England's going to be there, Antscape's going to be there, and I'm trying really hard to get the Colonius to finally turn up and stop being a recluse like he currently is. Oh yeah, and there's even going to be some myrmecologists there as well, talking about ants as well. So you got some proper professional people, not just YouTubers like me and the other guys. But anyway, I'll stop talking rubbish. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. So bye-bye for now.